Hi guys, me. You thought the sound was off, didn't you? It wasn't. Anyway, I just got back from my walk. I walk every day, as I told you. I also full-time RV, have for a long time, 22 years. And probably my next adventure will be, maybe here in a month or so, I'll go camping in my Prius and don't know where I'm going yet, but I'll go somewhere for a few days, maybe a week, 2 weeks, I'm not sure. But anyway, my next trick though, my plan the next 3 years is to acquire me either one of the Ford mini delivery vans or one of the Nissan mini delivery vans and put a bed in it and a little $200 toilet because they make some that work pretty good. And with that, you can go camping. You can. That's all you need. If you got a bed, a toilet, showering is nothing, cooking is nothing. The rest of it's a piece of cake. But anyway, got everything working after the storm. The sound system works good. It's a Vizio sound stand. Works okay. So far, actually, it works very good. It does. I mean, it's easy to operate. It was easy to connect. It wasn't a lot of bullshit. You didn't have to pair 14 different things. And anyway, this morning here, let me check this out. It is, and I quote, let me go to my Weather Underground and I'll tell you what it is. This is May the 2nd, 2016, and I'm Rusty 78609, and I know you know that, but for some reason I feel compelled to mention that every day. Here it is 53 degrees and a lot of clouds, Winds out of the north about, it doesn't say. But anyway, I just got in from walking. I'd say it's about 8 to 12 miles an hour out of the north. And we had a little shower move through as the norther blew through. And anyway, the high today is supposed to be 65 up here in the Texas Hill Country, which is nice. Low tonight will be 50 degrees. And then tomorrow, the high will be 76, low 53, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday it'll be in the low 80s and the mid 50s for those 3 days. And anyway, I did a video about my new glass jars, these right here, and it works okay. The cap, it's a little awkward sometimes. I mean, it's okay is all I can tell you. I don't usually put this handle down all the way. I just kind of put it up there to keep. What I buy these for with a cap is whenever I'm camping or outside here, even when I'm at my home base, and you set your drinking glass down, if it doesn't have a lid on it, you're going to come back and find honeybees in your glass or flies or something. But if you have a cap on it, that keeps all the dust, bugs, and crap out of it. Enough said about the drinking deal. It works good. Anyway, I got 4 of them. I mentioned it for like $26 or so delivered. And let's do a comedy show today. We'll go to the news and I'll run it through my filter. It says something about Game of Thrones. I don't know anything about that. Highlights from Obama's WHCA dinner speech. When our president tries to be a comedian, I am really not impressed. I have to tell you that. Leave the comedy to the comedians, okay, and then do your job. Shit, what a weirdo we got. Starbucks sued for too much ice. Well, they make some kind of a iced coffee thing, and apparently all they were doing was just serving you ice water. No surprise here. Trump sustains major lead over Cruz. The more I watch this whole political charade, one thing I notice is Trump gets all the media coverage, or 90% of it. Rarely do you hear anything about Sanders or Hillary Clinton. And here's a big story here. Malia Obama picks Harvard, takes gap year. I don't know I'm going to find out. What's a gap year? I'll find out. I'm going to it. Let's see.
The White House made the announcement Sunday morning, but Malia was seen wearing a Harvard Class of 2020 shirt Friday at a college signing day at her high school. However, Malia will actually be in the class of 2021, according to the White House, because she's going to take a gap year. Both her parents attended Harvard, but Malia also toured 5 other colleges before settling on her parents' alma mater. No word on what she'll major in, although film has been speculated.
No word about what she's going to major in. Blah blah blah. Anyway, a gap year just
After a rough week, Senator Bernie Sanders told his supporters he has.
Anyway, so she's going to go to Harvard like her parents did. Now never mind. I hate to get into that one. That was just too easy. That is just too easy. Too easy. Puerto Rico to default further on debts, which is not a surprise. These countries, well, the countries are no different than cities, okay? Or counties or school districts or anybody else. They want money. They want money well, actually, the people that are connected to the school district want the money. The building contractors, people that sell books and computer systems and stuff, they're the ones that are pushing the trustees to make these decisions to upgrade everything. Well, and then the school board trustees think they're doing their job, and they say, okay, yeah, let's upgrade it by not only building new school buildings, but by adding new technology. Well, all of that costs money, and the only way to get it is through the taxing authority, taxing people. And the second way is to issue bond issues. And of course, that's just an indirect tax, because what happens when you issue bonds is the ratings are based on the taxpayer's ability to repay that debt, no matter what entity does the bond issue, whether it's a city, county, school district, or whatever. But the taxpayers end up having to pay for it, and that you always wonder why your taxes continue to go up. Well, it's because everybody, every locality is issuing more and more bonds to maintain their infrastructure, and the next thing you know, you're in a debt trap, and that's what happened in Puerto Rico. They issued more debt than they could carry, and now they're doing, I guess, what you call the smart thing, and that's just saying, shit, we can't pay it. Okay, but you try that. You try that. You try it. Let's just let you go out there and run up a lot of credit card debt, and then you just say, hell, I don't want to pay it. So you just stop. Well, one or two things are going to happen. One is they're going to get you for credit card fraud or credit card abuse. That's possible. They can nail you on that and put you in jail for that. Number two, they could force you to file bankruptcy. But even in bankruptcy now, it's not as easy to get rid of all that debt. All those little Jews in New York that write the laws, believe me, they have figured out a way to protect their money. Here we go. Next one. Former California governor endorses cruise. Former, F-O-R-M-E-R. Well, who cares? I don't even care if the current governor endorses cruise. I don't think endorsements have a hell of a lot of value at all. Indiana governor to endorse Cruz. Everybody's endorsing Cruz. Now, Cruz is a 5-1 underdog, okay? I mean, why are they endorsing a loser? He can't win, even if he got the nomination from Trump. He can't beat Hillary. He can't. So if he gets the nomination, Hillary's the next president. If Trump gets the nomination, it's 50-50, and pick them. Anyway, what else is going on here? Not much. Sacramento toddler hit by truck. That is something I really wanted to know. Oh, here we go. The Civil Rights Commission investigates Flint crisis. I'm telling you, man, don't you get tired of this? I mean, I shouldn't have probably got into this news shit, but it is so. The bureaucracy has just gotten totally out of control. Civil Rights Commission, who in the hell are they to get involved in a water district problem? I have no idea. Let's go to technology here, and I'll get out of this in a second. Welcome to the Drone Racing League. Okay. Amazon Kindle Oasis. I don't care about that one. You can soon live in underwater homes. Well, pulley. I can hardly wait. I mean, I've always wanted an underwater home. I just can't believe I've lived this long without one. Anyway, I told you too that I looked at buying actually I ordered one and then I canceled it, Amazon Echo. It's kind of like on your smartphone, whether you've got an Apple or Android, you punch the little speaker and you say, uh, what does poo poo mean? And it tells you, or how far is it to El Paso? And it tells you orally. That's pretty much all the Echo is, only it's a kind of a supercharged version that starts to adapt to your uh, idiosyncrasies. Tiny Samsung computers may soon fill your home. Well, that's all that is the tiny Samsung computers that may soon fill your home are basically mini Echo uh, devices, and it's coming. It is. It's coming. I mean, if you buy a new home today, it's connected. And same way with a car. If you buy a new car, it comes with Bluetooth and all kinds of high tech features that if you don't want them, you're going to get them anyway because they're there. Trick yourself into drinking more water. I'm telling you, man. You know, I think I've told you before that I worked at a newspaper for 10 years, a small one. It was the circulation of the newspaper was about 55,000 at that time, which that's at that time it's a pretty good size paper. We had about 250 employees, and didn't count the carrier force, which was probably another 150. But anyway, one of the things that reporters have to do is report. In other words, they can't go a few days without writing a story, or they're out on their ass. Their job is to come up with stories. And if it's a daily newspaper like ours was, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, uh, they had to put something in that paper every day, every day, every day. And, believe me, there's a thing called writer's block. And I've talked to many reporters that experience that. I mean, they just all of a sudden, it's like you hit a brick wall. And even doing these videos, there's times that, I just can't think of anything that might be, and most of my videos aren't very interesting. And that's why, because it's hard to come up with the things that are interesting every day when you're by yourself and you're not going to spend a lot of money on equipment and staff and writers and stuff. But a reporter at any newspaper or for any media outlet uh, anywhere, they've got to come up with something every day, or they got to be working on something that's going to come out soon. Some of them don't put a story in every day. Some of them put in 2 or 3 stories a week, and but still, they got to be working on something all the time, because that editor is checking on them, and it's not easy. So, do they lie sometimes? Of course they do. A few of them have been caught. A Pulitzer Prize winner got caught from the New York Times. He completely fabricated a story in Afghanistan about Afghanistan. It didn't even happen. What he reported didn't even happen, and he got a Pulitzer Prize for it. It didn't happen. The characters were totally fictitious. He basically just wrote a short story and published it, and it went on for several days in the newspaper. And so, but does that happen? Yes, it does. So you have to take all news, as everyone knows, with a serious grain of salt. The local news can be verified because you may even know the mayor or the city council members or the county commissioners, and so if a story comes out about them, you could, if you wanted to, you could verify. You could call them on the phone and say, "Hey, John, what about that?" And but if it's at the state level, it gets a little foggy. And we used to have reporters from the Advocate was the name of the paper I worked for, and we had one that would go to Austin when they were legislature was in session, which is every odd year in Texas, and it starts in January and goes 2 or 3 months. Sometimes it's extended, but we had a reporter that went there, and at that time in the press room at the state capitol, it's a big press room. They got all the hookups for computers and online, stuff, super fast internet, and so these guys can post their stories. But there won't be. There used to be 60 or 80 reporters in there pretty much all the time when the legislature was in session. But now, when the legislature's in session, and I've been there. Last year, I went to Austin and spent or just drove down. Takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get there from where I live. And I went in what they call the underground capitol and checked out some stuff. And while I was there, I went to the press room, which you can go. It's open. And, there was like 5 people there. That's it. And what they're syndicated columnists. And what they do is they write a story and then they sell it to whatever newspaper wants to buy it. And, they're good journalists. There's no lie about that. But, it's pretty easy to get to those guys and have them produce a story that favors a certain political point of view. But anyway, what else is going on here in Central Texas today other than the weather is a little cloudy? It's not bad. It's actually cool. It's going to warm up tomorrow, be nice again. And so today, what have I got to do? Not much. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and let you know that I finally got through the storm. The audio system I found finally, after going through 4 or 5 different options, works out okay. It's fine. I still can't use the speakers in the RV, but this sound system produces better sound than the RV speakers. The RV speakers are just little bitty speakers, and they're of course they're cheap because RVs are not built. They're not high quality units. I mean, the Airstream is the top of the line, and even it shortcuts a lot of things like speakers and crap like that. And but as far as the build quality, I mean, I've lived in RVs for how long? Let me think. I got my first RV in when I got back from the Peace Corps, 1995. I got a RV. So how long's that been? 21 years I've lived it full time in an RV. 21 years. Long time, long time. And before I went in the Peace Corps, I was actually had an RV, and but I just camped in it. So, but anyway, it's okay. I mean, I've gotten used to it. I had, as I mentioned many times before, I've had the big homes and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. I'm happy now. This is fine. This is all I need, all I want. My next step, as I mentioned earlier, is to get me a small delivery van with some windows all around in it, hopefully, and maybe put a vent fan in it and you can buy these little toilets that actually, like 3-gallon flushable toilets that are okay. They're odorless. They work fine. You can put one in. They're only they're little, they're like this. They're up about this high off the floor, and they work. They actually do work. I've used them before, not camping, but I've used them as a test, and but anyway, that'll work. So if you've got a restroom and a place to sleep, that's anything else is nothing. I mean, cooking, eating is nothing. And 25 miles a gallon, so yeah, I can do that. But anyway, you guys have a good day. I just wanted to check in with you and let you know the world is round again. Why am I wearing my sunglasses this morning? Because I have I get a like a little ear, like a sinus thing under my eye, sometimes like a little bag of water almost. But whenever my eyes itch, I rub them, and it causes that. Have I ever had it before? Yeah, I've had it for 20 years off and on, maybe once every 2 or 3 years it happens. And it usually happens when there's a real high pollen count, which right now we've got a really high pollen count, and everything that can bloom is blooming. So anyway, you guys enjoy your day. I'll enjoy mine. And carpe diem. Thumbs up. Adios. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Man, that is not, you got to practice that shit. Anyway, bye, guys. Enjoy your day.